So I'm Pavitra and I'll be explaining the code for the project. So like we said earlier, the main aim of this project was to build a model that will determine the tone of the text, whether it was positive or negative, by classifying the polarity of a given text. So to do this, we decided to train a model on the existing data from Kaggle such that the resulting model will have to determine the class, whether that is positive or negative tone of the new text with maximum accuracy. So in order to train the model, we have used this sentiment.py file. So in this code, first we have imported all the necessary libraries which we need for training our model. So the first one is the NumPy, which we'll use to work on arrays for tokenization. Then we have used Pandas, which provides data structures and data analysis tools for training our model. Then we have the Matplotlib for displaying data trained into beautiful graphs. We have Seaborn for creating attractive and informative statistical graphs. We've also used the NLTK, which is the Natural Language Processing Toolkit, to process, manipulate, analyze linguistic data. Then we have the import RE for the regular expressions, and we have the strings for the string. Then we also have PotterStemmer for stemization, and we have WordNet Lemmatizer for lemmatization. We have also used sklearn for machine learning and statistical modeling, which includes classification, regression, clustering, and dimensionality reduction for our sentiment analysis data. And finally, we have also used the warning to convey messages to the user in alert of any error. So first in the code, we have defined all the columns that is sentiment, ID, date, query string, user, and text. Then we have read the dataset file that is train.csv. So we took the dataset from Kaggle, which is sentiment 140 dataset. So this dataset basically contains 1.6 billion tweets from the year 2009. So we are reading this dataset into df. Then we have given the function called df.head, which will display the top 10 rows of our dataset. Then we have df.info, which will display the information of all the columns. Then we have df.sentiment.value of counts. So value of counts is basically used for counting all the negative and positive tweets present in our data set. Then we have query string.value.counts. So we have used this to count all the no queries or the query strings of which are present in all the columns of our data set. Then after that, we've used df.drop. So because for sentiment analysis, we won't be requiring all the columns of the data set, such as ID, date, query string, and user, because they won't be necessary for training a model. So we use only the sentiment and the text column, which are required for training a model, and we drop all the other rest 4 columns. After dropping the columns, again, we have displayed the top 20 tweets. And then over here, we have the df.sentiment equal to 0 and equal to 4. So if df.sentiment, that's the first column, if it's equal to 0, that means those are all the negative tweets. And if df.sentiment equal to 4, that means they're all the positive tweets. So then we have used this function .head for df.sentiment equal to 0 to print the top or the first 10 rows of negative tweets. And then we have used the same function again with equal to 4 to print the top 10 positive tweets which are present in our data set. Then after that, we have used df.sentiment equal to .index. So this function will basically give all the index positions of where all the negative tweets we have. And then we have sentiment equal to 4.index, which will give all the indexes of the positive tweets which are present in our data set. Then I have mapped all the tweets using the function .map with 4 for positive and 1 for negative. Then after that, we have defined a pre-clean function. So first we need to start preparing our data for cleaning by checking the length of the string in the text column for each entry present in the row. Then after that, we have declared a dictionary This dictionary will basically contain different kinds of words and will analyze them into positive as well as negative. As you can see here, we have given 0 for negative and 1 for positive. Then after that, we have the pre-clean len, which consists, which will help in cleaning of the data with the help of the length of the tweet before cleaning and length of the tweet after cleaning. Next, after that, we have used the first draft of data dictionary for the data set. Over here, data set shape is equal to df.shape, which will give us the dictionary. Then we have created a box plot, which will display the overall distribution of length of all the strings in the entry. So the box plot will basically, the graph will look like a box with x-axis having the positive and the y-axis having the negative. Then after that, next comes the data preparation phase. So in this, we have used natural language processing in order to prepare our data for training our model. So before data preparation, we will have to clean the data because most of the tweets will contain hashtags, they have mentions, they have URLs. So data cleaning is very necessary. So first, we have used HTML decoding using the beautiful soup library in order to remove all the HTML or the URL links which are present in the tweets. Then after that, we have removed all the mentions using the regular expressions library, that's RE. Then after that, we have removed all the URL links using the /UFFD. And we have also removed all the UTF-8 byte order marks along with hashtags and numbers. Then after that, over here, we have again defined our data cleaning function. So this data cleaning function is basically applied to the whole data set, and it will remove all the URLs, then it will remove all the UTF-8s, it will remove the hashtags as well as the numbers. And also over here, it will remove single letters also which are present in the tweets. So during this process, the letters, when the letters are removed, this will create unnecessary spaces between words. So we have applied tokenization in order to remove unnecessary white spaces, and we have joined all the sentences properly together. Then after that, as we have cleaned and passed all the tweets, we will display the cleaning and passing of 1,000 tweets at a time by printing tweets of 0 to 1,000 has been processed using a for loop. After the whole tweets have been cleaned of hashtags, mentions, and everything, now we are creating a new CSV file called clean tweets CSV, where we will store all the clean data set. So over here, we have given clean df.toCSV, clean tweet.csv. So this function will basically help storing all the clean data into the new file. Then again, we have declared another variable, that is clean tweet.csv. So now we will be reading all the data from the clean tweets.csv, which will help in training our model for sentiment analysis. So after we read it, we'll again check for null values. If any null values are present in our columns of the new CSV file, which has been cleaned. So if there are any, all of them will be summed up and all of them will be removed. Then after that, we have used tokenization over here. So tokenization we have used along with lexicon-based approach. So lexicon-based approach is like we use a small bite-sized words called lexicons to classify negative or positive tokens depending on the measure or the weight of their words. So over here we have given negative tweets and we have tokenized them into negative string array. Then after that, down over here we have also created for positive string, and we have tokenized all the positive words present in the positive tweets into the positive string array. Then after that, we also have used word cloud. So word cloud is like, it basically represents word usage in a document by resizing individual words proportionally to its frequency. and then it will present them in a randomly arranged manner. So after cleaning all the tweets and separating them using a lexicon-based approach into negative and positive, so now whatever is separated, we are applying word cloud to them and displaying them in beautiful word clouds. So this is the word cloud for the negative string, and this will be the word cloud for the positive string. Then after that, we have gone for data visualization. So in this, what we do is that we have used counter vectorizer over here to calculate the term frequencies to fit, train, and predict our data and store it into term frequency table over here. Then after that, we have calculated the frequency of both the positive batches as well as the negative batches. Frequency of basically the positive number of words which are occurring as well as the negative number of words which are occurring in the tweets. And then we have also print them as entries term frequency calculated and entries term frequency calculated for both positive as well as the negative batches. Then after we have clearly found the frequency of both divided positive and negative and stored it in the term frequency data file. Now we are going to do data visualization first by plotting the top 500 tokens in tweets. That includes both negative and the positive tokens, which we had done using tokenization. And we have plotted a graph which has the y-axis as frequency, and the title of the graph is top 500 tokens in the tweets. Then after that, we have applied ZipF's law to our project. So ZipF's law is that it basically states that given some corpus of natural language occurrences, the frequency of any word is inversely proportional to its rank in the frequency table. So most of the frequent words which will occur are approximately twice as often as the second most frequent word. So Zipf's law is applied for both the negative as well as the positive tokens, and we have plotted a graph for the tokens. So the ZipF's graph basically contains x-axis as frequency rank of the token and y-axis as absolute frequency of the token. Then after plotting the ZipF's graph, then we have next we have plotted the top 50 negative tokens and the top 50 positive tokens. Now we have all our positive and negative tokens clearly arranged in two different arrays. So after applying tokenization as well as ZipF's law, we'll get the most frequently occurring tokens in both negative as well as in positive. So first we have plotted a graph to show the top 50 negative tokens using a bar graph. Then after that, we have plotted another graph which shows the frequency of the top 50 positive tokens using a bar graph. Then finally, we have plotted one more graph using the Seaborn library. So Seaborn library will basically help us present our graphs in an informative as well as in a very statistical way. So we have used the Seaborn graph to show the variation between the positive frequency and the negative frequency. So in this graph, the y-axis will contain the positive frequency and the x-axis will contain the negative frequency. So this is a frequency variation graph of showing how many positive tokens are being frequently repeated and how many negative tokens are being frequently repeated in the tweets. Then after this, we have checked the null accuracy over here. So we have checked the null accuracy by applying the trained model to logistic regression. So logistic regression is basically like when we have a statistical model, we apply this logistic function to it to bring out conditional probability of the result. So here we are trying to get the most accurate results. So in order, so for that we'll have to remove null accuracy as well as get accurate score. Then we have also used confusion matrix, which will be there in the end of the program over here. Then we also print the trained set has how many entries, how much percent is negative, and how much percent is positive. And we also have given a print statement which says the validation set has the total entries, which has how much percent positive tweets and how much percent negative tweets. And then again, we have the final total combined entries, which shows both the negative as well as the positive tweets. And next we have applied N frequency accuracy checker. So N frequency accuracy checker will be combined with the N-grams. So N-gram is basically like a continuous sequence of items from a given sequence of text and speech. So now we have all our negative tokens in one matrix and positive tokens in one matrix. So now we'll apply N feature accuracy checker and check how accurate our results will be. And we have applied the N-gram to print the unigram, bigram, as well as the trigram accuracy results. So here the first one, we have print unigram without stop words and count vectorizer, which we had already applied on the top. And then we are printing the result for biggram without stop words and count vectorizer. Then we are printing the result for biggram without stop words and TF-IDF vectorizer. Then we are printing the overall result, that is the trigram without the stop words. Now, after getting all the accuracy results of both positive and negative tokens using bigram, trigram, and unigram, we are going to plot a graph for all the three. So in this, we have again plotted a graph using matplotlib, so which is titled as N-gram test result with accurate results, so which has x-axis as number of features and the y-axis as validation set accuracy. And finally, we have applied a lexical approach again. Lexical approach first was applied in tokenization on the top to divide all our tweets having words into positive tokens and negative tokens. Again, over here, we have applied it using counter vectorizer to calculate the sentimental weights by analysis of a token. So we'll use all the tokens which are classified and trained, and now we'll count the final accuracy. So over here, we had the term frequency definition. So we'll get the total number of positive as well as the negative tokens. We'll get the positive rate. Positive rate as in how many number of words are frequently occurring. Then we have the positive frequency predictor, which will give us the percentage of the frequently occurring words. Then we have the positive frequency occurring normal CDF. So this will give alphabetical order frequently occurring words. And then we have the H mean, which will give us the mean value of the percentage. Same is applied for the negative also on the top. Then finally, we have converted all our trained data and used Pickle library to store all our trained model into sentiment.pkl file. So now what happens is the sentiment.pkl file will be used for comparing with the output which is taken in our website later. So sentiment.pkl file will consist of all the positive and negative tokens, and it will also consist of the accuracy rate. So whenever the website takes an input, it will be sent to the sentiment.py file over here in the predicted probability, where the sentence will be compared with the trained model, that is the PKL file over here, and accurate result will be given back to the website. And we also have a confusion matrix to test the true and false positive and negative tweets in the sample text which we take from the website. So now the next website part will be explained by Nikita.
Good morning, sir. I am Nikita A, and I'll be continuing with the front end part of this. Here we have created a file home.py. Here first we are importing Flask. Flask is a small and lightweight Python framework that provides the useful tools and features that makes. Second, we are importing Pickle. Pickle is used for serializing and deserializing the object structure. Here, the next we are using Pandas. Pandas is used for is a fast, powerful, flexible, and it is an open source data analysis and a manipulation tool. It is built on top of Python programming language. Next, from NLTK. NLTK is a tokenizer that separates the sentences into words. From the NLTK.stem, that is a package that performs stemming using different classes. We are importing Potter Stemmer. Potter Stemmer is a process of reducing the words into a word stem or the affixes to the suffixes. Next, we have the Flask SQL Alchemy. It is an extension for Flask that supports the SQL Alchemy of our application. Now here with the help of the model, we are using the pickle load from the Sentiment TFIDBM. This is 100 pkl. This model we have obtained from the sentiment.py file. From here, we are using the cleaner to import TC. TC is nothing but the text cleaner. It is a library for text data pre-processing. Now we have declared env is equal to product. Now we are going to check the conditions, and here we are going to get the information from the PostgreSQL of the database. If it is true, you're getting if it is true, the database URL Postgres is used. Else, the database for the Postgres is different. Now we are using the stem words. The stem words is used for dividing and joining the words into the Potter stem. Then we are using the class feedback, which gives us the input, which gives us the output. Like suppose if we are giving the input, this feedback in the feedback form, it will be calculating, and later we'll be getting the output. Here we're using two methods, that is the get and the post. If in the get, it is taking the information, and in the post, it's getting the information. And now, suppose if we are typing any sentences, here we are using the stem words. Here, this stem words will divide the sentences into words, and from each word, the negative and the positive percentage will be calculated and given. If the prediction is equal to 0, then it is a negative prediction, and the confidence is equal to int of probability 0 of 0 into 100, and the color in which it is displayed is red. If it is a positive prediction, if the prediction is not 0, then obviously it is a positive prediction, and the confidence is 0 1 into 100, and the way it is printed is in green in color. And here we are returning the Flask. We are returning the output with the help of that. Then in the feedback, we are using the post like mentioned before, and we are getting the output, and whatever the information is stored will be displayed. Next, I will show you the HTML and the CSS part. So here in the HTML part, this is the front end of how the page is going to be displayed. Here we have given the title as sentimental analysis, and we have downloaded few buttons from the GitHub, and we have used some style sheet for beautifying the front end. Next, we are using the body. In the body, we have given an ID called as BG body, where it is displaying a heading, that is a sentimental analysis, and this is a form which is nothing but the URL for the method post. Like this is connected to the home.py, and whatever the input you're giving will be taken here, and it will be given to the home.py, and that will access, and it will give you the output, which will be displayed in the result box. Here in the body, we even have a submit button and a clear button, where when you have typed a message, and when you click on the submit button, whatever the message we have typed will be sent to the home.py, and later the result will be displayed there. Clear button is basically for clearing the data which we have already typed. Here in the class result, the prediction, we have used the style and the prediction. So here you're going to get the result. Now we have one more, that is the main.css. That is nothing but the CSS file for the home.py project. And here we are using the header files as the deep sky blue. The body and the background color is black in color. This one RGB 15.15 is nothing but the black color. Then we are using the HR rule as the lavender color. Now let me show you the output. Here the sentimental analysis. Suppose we are typing a sentence. This is a sentence which I've typed. When we are clicking on the submit, it shows the positive and the confidence. This sentence is divided into words, and later these words are compared with the models which we have already prepared, and depending on that, it gives us the confidence. Here the love is a positive word, and that's the reason it is showing the positive. Now suppose I give a sentence, I hate this product, and submit it. It shows a negativity because it shows a negative of 90 confidence 95%. Next this is the output which we have got, and the next will be continued by my team members.
Good morning, sir. I'm Tutuja. Here I will be showing the videos, YouTube videos that we have created for our project. So as per the requirements, we have created one YouTube channel named Tech Jingles, and we have created the playlist named Sentiment Analysis. And currently we have uploaded 4 videos. So the first video is about the overview of sentiment analysis, which includes introduction, problem statement, applications, etc. Next, the second video, it is about the requirements, that is hardware and software requirements, word clouds, and natural language processing techniques that we have used in sentiment analysis. And the third video we have uploaded is about implementation steps. All the implementation steps are explained here. Next, the fourth video we have created is how Zipf's law has been used in our project, that is how Zipf's law we have used in sentiment analysis. So currently we have uploaded only 4 videos, and we will be uploading more videos later on, including the final presentation video.
Hello, sir. I am Pavna. I'll be talking about the article that we have created as per the requirement. We have created a Tech Jingles article page on medium.com, and we have posted 4 articles on it. So the first article talks about the introduction. Can you open the first article? Yeah. So this article talks about the introduction, training data, data preparation and cleaning, and saving into cleantweets.csv. The second article, sentimental analysis part 2. So this article talks about the feature extraction, word cloud, preparation of data visualization, Zipf's law for top 500 token in tweets. So this is all about the second article. Then the third article, that is sentimental analysis part 3. So this article talks about the Zipf's law for log scale graph, tweet token visualization, SNS graph using Seaborn library for plot of negative frequency versus positive frequency. And the fourth post, that is sentimental analysis part 4. So this article basically talks about the result accuracy using sklearn model, n-gram features like unigram, bigram, trigram, Flask framework, and PostgreSQL, and the output visualization model. So these are the 4 articles that we have created and posted on medium.com. So yeah, this is all about.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.